feel the fear and do it anyway. For me, that means take the risk and push the possibility envelope. This is a sentiment that I've carried in my personal life and throughout my career. And when I started with Alliance Pipeline, never was it more appropriate. I was leaving a well-paying job and accepting a pay cut. And on top of that, if we didn't get the regulatory approval, all of us would lose our job in a short order. Still, it was an opportunity to create something from the ground up and to own it and to drive it forward and to completion. And so with that in mind, I took the challenge. And I'm certainly glad I did, as 16 years later, here I am accepting this honor in front of so many people who've supported and inspired me along the way. My husband, Rory, who is here celebrating his birthday tonight, my passionate team, and my distinguished peers who are also being honored this evening. Throughout my career, I've been blessed with people who give me a chance and supported me to do new things, including opportunities outside my core area. A large part of HR's job is to help knit the company together and draw out people's best. With that in mind, one of the things I like to ask folks is, what mark do you want to make? You learn a lot from this question. You learn about people's passions, their vision, their motivation, their beliefs, which ultimately influences our behavior. As leaders, when we understand things about someone, we're better able to find ways to support and empower them to make their mark, however big or small. This includes encouraging people to expand their thinking and give them an opportunity to take a chance, along with providing them the guidance and tools they need to succeed. This mindset contributed to Alliance's early success, and today, as we embark on a significant transformation of our business, we're empowering our employees in the same way. If I could leave you with one thought tonight, it would be to challenge yourself and your teams and ask the question, what mark do you want to make? And to take the risk, push the envelope, and make it happen. With that, I conclude by saluting my fellow award recipients this evening who have clearly made their mark in their own careers. And I also express my appreciation to Alberta Oil for this honor and to the event sponsors for helping making this event happen. Thank you.
Well, first, thank you, Nola, for your kind words. As Nola mentioned, we were engineering classmates, and so I can say with some insight, it's quite gratifying to have one of the really smart kids introduce this prestigious award to one of the average kids. I guess it just goes to show that hard work and dedication does pay off. Thank you, of course, to the good folks at Alberta Oil and the sponsors for the evening. You're providing the vision and leadership to bring positive attention and credibility to the industry is welcome and needed. I am very honored and humbled to be receiving this award, especially when I context this with how well respected and admired past and present recipients of these awards are. I do not consider myself as someone particularly special or worthy, but rather someone very blessed to have worked with and worked for incredibly gifted people. With great fortune, I've had some of their brilliance rub off and to learn from them and to emulate them as best I can. So truly my successes are more reflections of a lot of great mentors. And along these lines, it is ARC Resources that is receiving this award, with me more as a representative of ARC. It is the success of the great people working together at ARC with common goals, connected by a very strong culture that truly deserves the recognition. If any of you in the room have had the opportunity, and there are definitely some in this room, to hear any ARCsters talk about the company, it will likely include a discussion of the culture and how important it is to the company. And so we can get to the dessert reception. Suffice it to say that the culture takes shape in hard form as a balanced focus on a combination of operational excellence, which is needed to maintain top quartile performance, financial flexibility to weather the commodity storms and execute plans, long life quality assets to ensure value creation for the long run, and most importantly, finally, the top talented people with an emphasis on strong leadership throughout the organization to glue it all together. Overseeing all this, the incredible leadership of Chairman Mac Van Willigen, CEO and President Myron Stadnick, and the rest of the ARC board and executive team have been an absolute pleasure to have learned from and worked together with. For this, I am deeply grateful. The outcome of all this shows up in ARC's fourth quarter and year-end results, which would have hit the wire a couple hours ago, and shows them exiting through the 100,000 BOE a day milestone and en route to higher grounds in 2014. And in spite of a busy schedule leading up to ARC's quarter end and board meetings held today, I am happy to have a number of ARC's executive join me tonight, Van Defoe, Sean Calder, and Neil Groenveld. And to these fine gentlemen and the remainder of the excellent executive and director team, and to all the remaining managers and staff of ARC, I have been fortunate to work with. Thank you very much. And I would also be remiss not to acknowledge the many years I have worked at Canadian Natural Resources and the amazingly talented staff and leadership I had the honor to work with. Learning about the business through visionary leaders like Murray Edwards, Al Markin, Keith McPhail, Steve Lott, and Tim McKay, just to mention a few, was just blind-ass luck for me. And finally, and certainly most important in my life, and to which any success could only be possible, is my partner, my friend, my wife, Leanna. With her incredible support and love, I'm a much better person. And of course, without her, we would not, that's good. Good reading there. We would not have the joys and sometimes pains of raising our two sons, to who I owe the wonderful gift of perspective on what's really important in life. So cheers and enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. My special appreciation to Ruth and all of the amazingly great folks at Alberta Oil for such an honor, and to the Editorial Advisory Committee for their recognition and support. Again, our recognition and thanks to the sponsors for this great evening, and it's great to be here with so many distinguished folks from the oil and gas industry in Alberta. Like Cam, I was a bit surprised, I think, when I got the letter, because I just go to work every day and do whatever the day needs to get done that day. But it did give me a chance to reflect on what are the pieces that lead to success. And I think there's 5. And the first is the right foundation, the right teachings at an early age, in my case from my parents. My father, who taught me to respect culture, particularly Aboriginal culture, and respect the land and use it properly. And my mother, who I don't think ever didn't volunteer a day in her life somewhere in the community, and who hauled me from a very early age, from everything to the March of Dimes to the library, and I guess it stuck. So they set the right values in me at a very early age. And then I was lucky on the second piece, which is find a company who reflects the values that you share. And as I think about Syncrude with 50 years in business this year, and its second department being Aboriginal Relations, and looking back at quotes from our founding president, Frank Spraggins, talking about working with our neighbors, 50 years on, we're still there doing the same thing. I was lucky to be hired under some great leadership. I still work under great leadership, and I know that will continue for many years after I'm long gone from the company, because with 50 years behind us, there's no going back now. But you know, I was lucky to come to Syncrude, and then that third piece was the most vital for setting on the right path, and that's having a mentor, someone who will push you, challenge you, coach you, teach you, and hold you back a little bit every once in a while when you're getting ahead of yourself. And for me, that was Don Thompson, who I'm eternally grateful for everything he taught me over the years, and still does, even though he's now enjoying the luxury of a nice Syncrude pension that I hope to one day. And the fourth, though, like Cam, this is Syncrude's award. I am amazingly blessed to work with some of the best and brightest minds in the industry. When the discussions that happen in rooms as we talk about community and regulatory and government relations and legal issues, sustainability issues, the best and brightest minds are at that table, and it's the most rewarding thing to be part of that and know that I'm a small part of just a fantastic group of people who truly deserve the recognition. But finally, the one thing that holds it all together is when you do community relations for a living, that means you're not home very much. And so the patience and support of my spouse, Tom, for all of the nights I'm not home, and for all of the times I've abandoned him at a cocktail party and said, "I'll see you later, honey, I gotta go to work the room," my profound gratitude. So without those 5 pieces all coming together, I wouldn't be before you tonight. So all of it I'm truly blessed for, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ross. I just tried to get my wife to come up and do this, but she's having none of it, so I'm on my own. Fellow award recipients, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely thank Alberta Oil Magazine and industry colleagues for this award. I'm honored to accept it personally, but also on behalf of Enerplus, the executive Enerplus, and my phenomenal team at Enerplus. Many are here tonight. I'm very, very proud of them. Also, I'd like to recognize a number of mentors that I've had throughout the years. There's a ton of folks from Suncor that are here tonight that I've worked for, that they've helped coach me along my career and continue to support me today. My wife, my beautiful wife, is here. My children, Travis and Megan, are here as well, and they've supported me through my whole career, and every day is a rewarding day with these folks. But they also keep me grounded. There's not a day that doesn't go by where one of them doesn't put me in place and take a certain amount of accomplishment from it. So I'm glad to give that to them. I view this award not only as recognition of what I have accomplished to date, but what Enerplus has accomplished, especially over the last 3 years since I've gotten there. We've completed the transition from a trust to a true E&P, and my team has been able to work on a number of projects on an operation, on a corporate basis, that has allowed us to get closer to a drill bit level that has really increased the value of our company. 2013 was a phenomenal year for Enerplus. Shareholder values increased by 60%, and we've made some huge changes to the market. I spent a bunch of time thinking about leadership over the last little bit, and especially with information services and what it means to work for that group and service to a company. The first thing that I have is exceptional results are generated by great people who come together and truly function as a team. They get together, they form, they partner with the business to deliver great results. Partnership. I found that successful partnerships require that you take the time to build trust, buy-in at the functional level, at the business level, employee level, and service partners to achieve exceptional results. Calgary has a phenomenal group of partners that we work with and rely on at great value. The third one I like to call investing in simplicity. The complexity and cost that can be incurred every year through the addition of new systems and processes can be immense and highly defocusing. Therefore, investing in removing legacy systems and streamlining processes enables IS and the business to protect against the potential erosion in business value. The streamlining strategy must align with the corporate vision to ensure the right efficiencies are occurring at the right time. Timing is everything, with all of them underpinned by driving value. If you can't drive value, there's no sense in doing it. Information services has changed a great deal since I've started 20 plus years ago. You think back to computing power was the biggest issues at that point in time, and you look today and you go, there's more computing power than what we have to operate for applications. It's reverse. We look back to where we were 50 years ago. A person's smartphone today has more computing power than what it took to get a man on the moon. The world has changed. Today's compute world also comes with new challenges as well. Social security concerns, increasing regulatory requirements, and access to streams of unfiltered data. These challenges also provide an opportunity for Calgary, Alberta, Canada to support and lead in these areas as they grow. If we fail to get in front of these opportunities, then we're going to be relegated to followers, and we'll put our industry and potentially our nation at risk. We need to provide leadership from both the private and public sectors to champion these causes. In order to support and lead in this new information world, we need to invest in our future leaders. I look at the support I got through the education system in Alberta, and it's phenomenal, but it's at capacity. In some instances, and I can tell you at SAIT, around 300 spots for students to come into their ICT programs. There's over 800 qualified applications. We don't have enough room for them. The information communication sector, like many other sectors, is challenged to attract individuals who have the right skills to support its business, and to support and expand our post-secondary schools to ensure our next generation of leaders have every opportunity to be educated and equipped to take on tomorrow's challenges. I'm proud to be part of Enterplus. We support the Innovation Center at SAIT. We spent millions in there, and I'm really proud to be part of a company that puts its money where its mouth is, and truly adds energy to everything that we do. Again, my sincere thanks and appreciation. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And Ruth and Sebastian, Alberta Oil, Venture Publishing, thank you very much for this honor. I have to warn you, providing a lawyer with an open mic without a prepared script is a dangerous thing. But fear not, I have prepared a few brief remarks to keep me on track and on time. On the danger front, I'd appreciate your attention to my offered Tervita safety moment in compliance with our internal practice of highlighting safety during the opening remarks of any of our meetings. And tonight is no exception, and in fact provides me with an effective way to reach a rather large audience while exemplifying our number one Tervita core value, which is life. I'd like to borrow from our latest weekly safety bulletin, which addresses the issue of sleep deprivation and corresponding safety risks, which I presume may apply to many of the high achievers in this room. A few quick facts. WorkSafe BC reports that the number of hours awake can be similar to the drowsiness effect created by the consumption of alcohol. For instance, 17 hours awake is equivalent to a blood alcohol level of 0.05. 21 hours awake is equivalent to a blood level of 0.08. And finally, 24 hours awake is equivalent to a level of 0.10. Think about that the next time you pull an all-nighter or close to it. And if you find yourself or others in such a position, please don't drive, and don't let them drive either. Now, returning now to my expression of gratitude, I have to share a question that came up following the public announcement. I think it was one of my Thursday night hockey double jumper teammates who heard the news and asked me, "So does this mean everyone else has already won that award?" The answer to that is no. And in fact, I am very honored to be among those that have been recognized previously, and also to be among those recognized tonight, and to whom I'd also like to add my congratulations. On the topic of being individually recognized, I reflect back to the comments made by my father many years ago to his sometimes overconfident young goaltender. He reminded me, no matter how well you may play or how well you think you've played, you'll never be better than the team in front of you. No truer words were spoken then, and they couldn't apply more than they do today. I do feel a bit awkward to be receiving this attention today because I've always viewed the role of general counsel, and by extension the legal department, to be similar to that of a really good defenseman. If you're doing your job well, you should not be easily noticed. If you do it poorly, the opposite is true. On that note, I would like to publicly recognize the team in front of me that does all the heavy lifting every day, and who collectively are responsible for the achievements that are really being recognized today. With our legal department at Tervita, within our legal department at Tervita, we are so fortunate to have among the very best lawyers and leaders in the areas of health and safety, environment and regulatory, and risk management. In addition to that, we are all supported by administrative assistants second to none, and without whom we simply could not achieve the goals that we set out to achieve every day. On the topic of goal setting, I believe that our remarkable and inspiring executive committee represents the dream team of internal corporate clients. The daily exercise by this team of our remaining core values of collaboration, accountability, and excellence create a consistent work environment that I feel most fortunate to be a part of. Upon joining our company as president and CEO, John Gibson raised more than a few eyebrows when he declared to the executive team, "I don't believe in work-life balance." Then he went on to explain, "I only believe in having a great life," meaning that we all need to be fulfilled as human beings, both inside and outside of the office, to maximize our potential in any situation. I'd like to thank my ex-com colleagues for supporting me to do that. Now, the article in the magazine talked about Tervita's response to the flood this past year. As a company, we've been asked to speak to several groups about our experience. Our story is told thanks to the exemplary work of our thousands of employees, many I might add who work outdoors and in this type of weather, and through presentations prepared by our first-class communications team. Without the dedicated and determined work of our Tervita personnel, I most certainly wouldn't have the honor of standing before you all today. I should also say that we are also well aware that we are only among those that responded to the floods. In southern Alberta, we can all be proud of the strength and resiliency shown by our families and our neighbors throughout all affected areas. Tervita was proud to work along with so many, and we also know that many lives have not yet returned to anywhere near normal. While the water has receded, our thoughts remain with those who continue to work toward restoration. As you can tell, I'm very proud of Tervita. I'm proud of the people I have the privilege to work with and the brand we've developed. My wife Eloise suggests sometimes that I go too far with the branding and the branding merchandise she sees me wear. And I notice the table pieces are Tervita colors. And I think it's awesome that we have the only greenhouse on the block with a bright orange roof. But seriously, I'm most appreciative and proud of my wife Eloise and our 4 boys. They keep me grounded and on track with respect to the Gibson Declaration to have a great life. No matter what we face each day at work, in the office or in the field, when I get home for dinner at the end of the day, I know it will be back to being all about the volume, the stitches, and the drywall, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It's my honor and privilege to accept this recognition on behalf of Tervita and the entire legal HSE team at Tervita. Thank you all very much.
Bruce, thank you very much. I really want to sincerely thank ATB Financial Services, Alberta Oil, and all the sponsors for this recognition. I'm truly honored, and I can honestly say that it'll further my motivation to contribute to help the responsible development of energy resources in Alberta and in Canada. I would not have been able to be here tonight without the mentorship of supervisors and people whom I've had the pleasure to work with in a number of places around the world and during the past 30+ years with ExxonMobil and with Imperial Oil. And also, I would not have been here tonight without the ongoing support of my spouse, Amy. Amy, thank you very much. I feel truly privileged to have had and continue to have the opportunity to work for Imperial Oil. In order for me to do my function well, to be performing well in my role, I need to be very well integrated and be accepted by the operating environment and by the operating organization of Imperial Oil. And I really want to explicitly express my appreciation for their support on an ongoing basis. At the same time, while I'm the one who receives this recognition, I really believe it is a recognition of the contributions, the commitment, the hard work of every single employee in the finance function of Imperial Oil. And I'm very pleased that some of my colleagues are here tonight. And it is really thanks to you that I've been able to receive this recognition tonight. Just to close out, I also want to congratulate the other award winners tonight. I'm humbled by your company. Again, thank you very much.
I will explain in a minute why I don't have a prepared speech. To start off, I want to thank Alberta Oil Magazine, Ruth and Sebastian, for hosting this wonderful evening. I want to thank Minister McQueen for sharing her time with us, knowing her busy schedule. And of course, I want to thank and congratulate all our fellow award winners. You are chosen as the best performer in your chosen field and expertise. Then, of course, with the exception of Bill McCaffrey, because by definition, he's good at everything. Truthfully, they all talk about, geez, I'm very surprised that, I win this award. because there's so many CFOs or CIOs or whatever in town. If you think you're surprised, I was floored because I didn't even know there's such an award called the Chairman of the Year. I think this is probably the first year. So this is like winning a lottery without even buying a ticket, so I really like that. But I have to tell a story here because one of the sponsors, and I definitely want to thank all the sponsors for helping us host this event, and one of the sponsors is my institute, the CPA. It's almost 34 years ago. It's actually in this very room that I received my CA certificate. They make it very dramatic at those times. They give you a brown envelope, and we all stood in line. They hand you this envelope, and then you have to open it, and in there's a pass or a fail. So, and this is a true story, and that's how we find out on a Friday morning at 9 o'clock every December whether you fail or pass your CA exam. And of course, you know that the passing rate for a CA is only about 52%. So there are a few disappointed folks, walking out of this hotel every year around that time. So 34 years ago, so it seems like only yesterday, because the joy of opening that envelope is etched in my mind for forever. You kind of say, well, what does a chairman do? I mean, I know what a CEO, a CFO, a CIO, and all those guys. What does a chairman do? And I think that's a very good question because, I think it's a good job because I think the only better job that I could really think of is a food critic, because you don't even have to cook, but you got to enjoy everything, right? So I think being a chairman is like that, okay? You just, what do I do? Well, let me tell you what I do. I say, let's call the meeting to order. And I say, all those in favor, raise your right hand. And I'm sure most of you feel that, geez, I can do it probably better than this Chinese guy is trying to speak English. So it is a very, very difficult, very, very difficult job to define. And I'm not really sure why I was chosen, because I wasn't even alerted to the fact that I was being considered. So I think the under-the-ground intelligence work did by the Alberta Oil Group is most successful. I think Obama would have been proud of that. So what, I think, but truthfully, I mean, I know everybody feels that they really couldn't be standing up here collecting an award without the support of their team, and that's very, very true. But, from my standpoint, I think the chairman is probably the ultimate team award, because it's so difficult to define, because I don't score goals, I don't knock people into the boards or anything like that, and yet I'm holding this wonderful award here. So this is truly the result of being associated with a winning team. I seriously doubt it. I will be holding this award if Baytex has not been a successful company. If you don't believe me, you can just try to count how many manager or coach of the year the local hockey team has won, for us, right? So, so this award, I definitely belongs to all those people that work at Baytex, and because there's a lot of them, obviously I cannot invite all of them to tonight's party. So I actually invited my C-suite officers, my chief executive officer, my CFO, and my COO. And I was using the delicious food and wine that we're enjoying as an enticement to hopefully they can finish their work on time so that they will come. Well, lo and behold, you can probably see at my table there are a couple empty chairs. Well, I have to exercise my chairman's duty and authority. My CEO and my CFO actually didn't get to come tonight because they didn't finish their work. And before I make that, I thought was a pretty forceful decision. Actually, after I make that forceful decision, I actually forgotten that my CFO, Derek Aylesworth, was supposed to write my speech. So, hence, 2 minutes ago, I explained to you why I didn't have one. So tonight, the Baytex employees and the C-suite is represented by our most capable Chief Operating Officer, Marty Proctor. And I would like Marty to accept this award on behalf of the entire Baytex staff that obviously without your contribution and hard work, Raychen would not even be on the radar screen of Alberta Oil. So thank you. And this last point I won't forget because otherwise I can't go back and sit beside her. A lot of you look at me and you say, well, how long have you been married? Longer than you think. My wife Sylvia and I have been together for over 41 years. Thank you. This is the first time that I'm admitting in front of one of my children that we're actually together because we've only been married 36 years. So, and I have 3 wonderful adult grown children, obviously, and actually 3 lovely grandchildren, and they're represented by my daughter Melinda tonight. So I want to thank them for their support for me over the years, and I am the luckiest guy in the room today. Thank you.
Well, they told me at the start that I was number 8, and I'm the only thing stopping you from dessert. So they said normally we give 3 minutes or 2.5, and you've got 2 minutes. So I'm going to try and go fairly quickly. But I want to start just by thanking Greg for his kind remarks, and I'd also like to thank the Chartered Professional Accountants and the Alberta Oil and the event sponsors for all the work you guys do to help our industry. It truly does mean a lot. You hear a lot of the oil and gas companies, but it's really the heart and soul in this room that really makes that engine run. And so I thank you guys for all your work. I'd also like to thank Minister McQueen for your kind words tonight. That was very kind. And I'd like to thank Ray for his lighthearted comments early on. And Ray, I'd like to say you've been married longer than I have, so congratulations. I would like to thank my wife, Janice, 31 years and counting. We have a special relationship, and we've been together a very long time and go through a lot of different things. And I think that matters a lot in any leadership role, because we, as was mentioned earlier by some of the other honorees, you find that you have a lot of obligations and a lot of things to pull, and it does take that total team to help you out. I am very honored to be here this evening and the front of the company of the outstanding group of people that have come before me. I sit here and listen to the stories of the people, and they really are amazing. And you think of the talent, not only that just comes up and talks about things tonight, but the talent of the people in this room. And as the other honorees have said so clearly, a leader's only as good as the team around them. I'm summarizing a lot of things that people said, but that is so, so true. And in our industry today, we find that there are really a lot of challenges that affect our business, and our business has become quite complicated. And I think it really does take special leadership teams within the companies to understand the complexity and to be able to adapt to the change required to ensure the ongoing success of our businesses. We count on these people. They're talented leaders, and they deliver day in, day out. And within MEG, this is probably the thing that I'm most proud of, is the talent and the spirit and the culture of the people within the company. And I'm sure all the other companies would say that. So it's more about the character of people that help leaders out than any individual company. It is a challenging time, as I've said. I believe that over the last few years, the CEOs in the oil and gas business in Calgary have also learned that our jobs have changed. We can no longer sit in our offices and run our companies and try and just optimize the bottom line. That game's over. It's not good enough anymore. We find we have numerous macro issues that create serious threats to our very existence as an industry. So not just about a company, it's about an industry and in some ways survival. And two such examples in the business I'm in have to do with market access to our products and managing and reducing greenhouse gas. And those are just a couple of examples, but they're big. And while these issues often seem impossible to solve on an individual basis, the fact remains that we won't resolve these issues unless the leadership within our industry puts shoulder to the wheel and works together to find ways to solve that. And I think that's a comment about people in this room, that we can do these things. And in that sense, we're forming new teams. We're forming teams with other companies as an industry to solve these problems and to take on these challenges. And just as our industry is adapting to the change, companies like ours and all the others in this room for that matter, I'm sure, are focused on learning and continuously improving. And as an example of improvement, our industry is very focused on finding new ways to apply innovative technologies, ways to cut costs and improve energy efficiencies. And it doesn't matter whether it's in my particular business or your business, we all have the same game that we have to go after. And we have to take the approach that good enough is never actually good enough anymore. And our focus really needs to be on doing better. And as we've seen tonight from the inspiring group of people that have come before me, I believe that we really need to each have the goal of improving as individuals, as companies, as an industry, and as citizens in Canada. Canada has some issues it has to work through right now, and that's the people in this room when we talk about the energy part. So I would like to thank you again for this recognition on behalf of all the people at Meg Energy, and also I'd like to wish you a great evening tonight. Thank you very much.